Hi, another weekly update from me, Richard Lewis, Brainman VR. Brainman VR makes learning GCSE maths fun and improves exam outcomes by bringing together a unique blend of neuroscience, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. Now, in previous weeks, I've described why the virtual reality element is so important, why the artificial intelligence element is so important. So this week, I'm going to talk about where the neuroscience comes into the equation. Now, there are actually many different ways that neuroscience comes into the design features in our first game, Pizza Maths, but I'm just going to focus on one particular one, and that is repetition. By gamifying the process of learning a specific mathematical operation by getting practice in doing it and performing the calculations again and again, you end up getting kids into flow because they're not learning paper and pencil, going over and over the same kind of boring, old-fashioned two-dimensional way of learning these things. They're in a 3D space using those math topics in order to score more points, in order to do better in the game. And in this context, they're making pizzas. So they have a recipe pop up. It tells you the ratio of one ingredient to another. Let's say it's a ratio of 3 to 5 pepperoni to chilies. So if you've got 9 pepperoni, how many chilies should you be putting on that particular pizza? So you put in the correct answer, you hope, and then the pizza ends up with the correct toppings put on according to your direction. You then grab the pizza, stick it in the oven, 60-second countdown until it burns. Quick, get on to the next one. So what that does is, because it's gamified, it enables the teenager to get into flow. And if you get into flow, time flies because you're having fun. The difficulty level's been set very carefully, so it's not too hard, it's not too easy, but just right in that Goldilocks zone. You can lose minutes, sometimes hours when you're in flow. And in this case, that's a good thing because neuroscientifically, it enables the teenager to study for longer. They don't even realize they're studying. And by sticking at it for longer, they're getting more repetitions of trying to do those particular types of calculations, in this case, ratios. And then before you know it, time's flown by, you've got to the end of your session, and you've really pushed the brain, the specific pathways that do that mental operation, really hard. And that is when the brain takes action. Neuroplasticity describes how anything you do regularly, intensively, over long periods of time, physically changes the pathways of your brain. And in this case, it improves the performance of the cognitive ability that is quickly calculating ratios. So that's where the neuroscience comes in. By gamifying it, you make it fun, you can get more repetitions, and it's those repetitions, doing it daily and clocking up a number of repetitions per day, that actually causes the brain to change. That's all from me this week. Catch you next week.